welcome back to the deep dive. You know how you all keep asking for a deep dive into becoming an environmental expert?
Mm-hmm.
Well, ask and you shall receive. We're going all in on this one, armed with RoleCatcher's career guide on this very topic. I'm excited to dig in.
Me too. It's a hot topic, that's for sure. Lots of interest in this field right now.
For good reason, right? I mean, saving the planet's kind of a big deal these days. But honestly, when I hear environmental expert, I picture, like, someone in a lab coat, surrounded by beakers and test tubes.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a common image.
But RoleCatcher paints a different picture, right? This guide makes it sound way more dynamic, almost like action hero of the planet kind of stuff.
Absolutely. It's definitely not just about being a science whiz, although a strong science background is definitely important, of course.
So it's more than just knowing the science. Like, what else is it about then?
It's about applying that knowledge, using it to find real-world solutions, often with some pretty cool technology.
Okay, now we're talking. Less observing the problem and more building the giant solar-powered solution kind of thing.
Exactly. Think like developing new ways to clean up pollution or designing those giant solar farms you mentioned.
Or coming up with sustainable ways to produce, well, everything.
Yeah. Reducing waste in manufacturing, designing eco-friendly cities, even tackling things like plastic pollution in our oceans.
So it's about understanding those environmental challenges and having the skills to actually engineer a solution.
Precisely. It's about bridging the gap between science, technology, and action.
I'm already getting a way better feel for this. RoleCatcher also mentioned that this role comes with a ton of different responsibilities. Like, what does an environmental expert actually do all day?
Well, it varies a lot, which is part of what makes it so interesting. You could be out in the field one day collecting data, monitoring ecosystems.
Getting your hands dirty, literally.
Exactly. Then the next day, you could be in a meeting with policymakers, presenting your findings, advocating for change.
So you need those people skills too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Being able to communicate complex information clearly and persuasively is crucial. You might even find yourself working with engineers to design new technologies.
Wow, so it's like a multidisciplinary free-for-all.
Mhm.
That actually sounds kind of amazing if you ask me. Okay, so we're talking science, tech, communication, all in the name of a healthier planet. That's a lot of responsibility. What does RoleCatcher say about the pros and cons of this career path?
Well, on the plus side, the job satisfaction is through the roof, apparently.
I can imagine. Doing work that truly matters, that's got to feel good.
Right. And the field itself is constantly evolving. New challenges, new technologies, always something new to learn.
That sounds right up my alley. But let's be real, no job is perfect.
Yeah.
What about the challenges?
Well, for one, it can be pretty demanding. Long hours, tight deadlines, dealing with complex problems.
Yeah, saving the planet probably requires some overtime now and then.
Definitely. And depending on your specific role, you might have to work in challenging conditions, like extreme weather or remote locations.
True, not exactly a desk job all the time.
And then there's the whole bureaucracy side of things. Navigating regulations, permits, funding.
Okay, so maybe paperwork IS involved, even when you're saving the world? But still, it sounds incredibly rewarding.
It definitely has its perks.
Yep.
And the impact you can have is huge.
That's what I'm all about. So we've established that being an environmental expert is way more than just a title. It's about combining your passion for the planet with some serious problem-solving skills.
Definitely. And having a hand in building a more sustainable future.
Exactly. But how does one actually become this eco-warrior of the future? What's the path from, like, clueless but well-intentioned to actually making a difference in this field? So you're inspired, you're ready to answer the call of the planet, but where do you even begin? What does that path to becoming an environmental expert actually look like?
Well, RoleCatcher dives deep into the educational side of things, and it's not as simple as just getting one specific degree.
Because How to Save the Planet 101 isn't exactly a standard college course offering.
Right. But seriously, it makes sense when you think about it. We're talking about a field that blends so many different disciplines.
Yeah, you've got the science, the technology, the whole problem-solving element. Where do you even start building that knowledge base?
The solid foundation in science is definitely key. I mean, environmental science itself is an obvious choice.
Makes sense.
But engineering is huge in this field too, especially chemical and civil engineering.
Because you're not just studying the environment, you're designing solutions for it.
Exactly. Like if you want to design a system to, say, clean up industrial waste, that requires a different skill set than just understanding the chemistry of pollution.
So you need both the knowing how it works and the knowing how to fix it skills.
Exactly. And don't discount those core sciences either, even if they seem broad at first. Biology, chemistry, geology, they all play a part.
Because whether you're studying endangered species or figuring out the best place to put a wind farm, it all goes back to those fundamental principles.
You got it. And we're even seeing more specialized degrees popping up now, too, like sustainability studies, environmental policy.
So there are more and more options to really hone in on your specific area of interest.
Definitely. It's about finding that sweet spot where your passion meets a real-world need.
Love that. But hold on. Before everyone races off to sign up for every eco-related degree out there, RoleCatcher made another really good point. It takes more than just a diploma to truly thrive in this field, right?
Absolutely. They talk about hard skills versus soft skills, which I thought was a really helpful way to look at it.
Classic combo.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break it down. Hard skills first. What are we talking about here, specifically for an aspiring environmental expert?
Well, analytical skills are at the top of the list. You'll be living in a world of data, collecting it, analyzing it, figuring out what it all means.
So being a bit of a data nerd is a good thing.
Absolutely. It's all about connecting the dots and drawing meaningful conclusions. And of course, you'll need in-depth knowledge of environmental science and those all-important technologies we talked about.
Because this isn't a learn it once and you're done kind of field. New discoveries all the time.
All the time. But let's talk about those soft skills for a minute, because acing your science exams is only part of the equation, right?
Okay, so what are we talking about on the soft skills side? What are those more intangible qualities that make someone truly successful in this field?
Communication, for one, is absolutely essential. You've got to be able to explain complex information to all sorts of audiences.
So think policymakers, the general public, maybe even a room full of skeptical executives.
Exactly. You need to make the science relatable, even inspiring, regardless of who you're talking to.
That's a serious skill.
And don't forget teamwork. You'll be collaborating with all kinds of people, engineers, policymakers, community members.
Because saving the planet is a team effort, after all.
Exactly. And that means being able to listen, to compromise, to build consensus around shared goals. Oh, and one more thing they emphasized. Problem solving.
Well, that kind of goes without saying.
Right.
Environmental challenges are like the definition of complex problem.
Exactly. You got to be able to think critically, adapt to new information, and come up with creative solutions when the easy answers don't exist.
Sounds like you need to be equal parts scientist, engineer, diplomat, and like creative problem-solving ninja.
It's a tall order. But those who thrive in this field, they're passionate about making a real difference, and they've got the skills and the drive to back it up.
Love it. So we've tackled the educational path and the essential skills, both hard and soft. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty of actually landing that dream job, because it's a competitive world out there, even for those who want to, save the planet. So you've got the skills, the knowledge, the passion, the fire in your belly to make a difference. But how do you actually break into this field? I imagine it's pretty competitive, even for eco-warriors.
Oh, it definitely is. And that's where RoleCatcher really shines, because they don't just leave you hanging with a degree and a dream. They get into the nitty-gritty of the job search itself.
Because even saving the planet requires getting past a hiring manager first.
Right. Exactly. And these days, that often means getting past those applicant tracking systems first, those AI programs scanning resumes for keywords.
Oh, you mean the digital gatekeepers? Those things are brutal.
They can be. You could have all the right experience, but if your resume isn't formatted just so, or you're not using the magic keywords,
you're basically doomed before a human even lays eyes on it.
pretty much. But that's where RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools come in. They actually analyze job descriptions, just like those ATS systems do, but they use that analysis to your advantage.
So fighting fire with fire.
Exactly. Their platform figures out exactly what skills and keywords are most important for each specific job you're applying for.
And then tells you how to tweak your resume to match.
You got it. And it's not just about keywords. RoleCatcher helps you highlight those key experiences and achievements that are really going to grab a hiring manager's attention.
Oh, that's smart. So you're not just throwing things at the wall and hoping something sticks. It's strategic.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say you do ace that part. You get past the bots and land an interview. That's a whole other beast, right?
For sure. But don't worry, RoleCatcher has you covered there too. Remember that massive database of interview questions they talk about?
Oh, yeah, the one with like a gazillion questions.
Yeah.
Like more questions than I've ever even thought about.
Right. Well, they don't just list the questions. They provide expert answers and strategies tailored to different experience levels.
So whether you're fresh out of school or you've got years of experience under your belt, they've got some advice for you.
Exactly. And if you really want to step up your game, they have that RoleCatcher Copilot AI, where you can practice your answers and get personalized feedback.
Oh, wow. So it analyzes like your delivery and everything. That's next level. Okay. So RoleCatcher can help you land that first job, but what about after that? What if you're already on the environmental path, but you're looking for a change, or you're ready to take that next big step in your career?
Well, they've got this cool tool called the Career Compass, which is designed for exactly that kind of long-term career mapping.
So it helps you figure out what you really want to be when you grow up, even if you're already grown up.
Exactly. Whether you're dreaming of leading research projects or starting your own consultancy or even moving into the policy side of things, the Career Compass can help you get there.
I love that. So it's about making informed decisions, figuring out your path, not just jumping at the first opportunity that presents itself.
Exactly. And they also have this huge database of employers, so you can research companies, check out their environmental track record.
So you know you're not accidentally signing up to work for like an oil company when you're all about renewables.
Exactly. It's about finding those companies that align with your values, your goals.
Okay, that's huge.
Yeah.
I know we've covered a ton of ground here. We talked about what environmental experts actually do. We dug into those essential skills, and now we've even explored how RoleCatcher can help you actually launch and grow your career in this field.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but hopefully it's also super inspiring. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, what's one piece of advice you would give to our listeners who are feeling fired up, ready to make a difference, but maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by it all?
Honestly, I'd say just start somewhere. The environmental field is vast. There's a place for everyone. Don't be afraid to explore, to reach out to people already working in the field, to ask questions. And remember, every journey starts with a single step.
Beautifully said. This has been amazing. And listeners, if you're feeling inspired, head over to RoleCatcher and check out their full career guide on becoming an environmental expert. Trust me, it's well worth a read. That's it for this week's Deep Dive. We'll be back next time with another fascinating career path to explore. Until then, keep learning, keep asking those big questions, and keep on diving deep.